Piece of wellness to the family, y'all. The art of wellness. I wanted to do a presentation about exactly what the art of wellness is, but I wanted to start with each element and give a presentation on each element so we can get a better idea on what it is to be whole, what it is to follow your path for wellness, and what it is each element brings to the table and how it can actually help you in your life and how you can might maybe shift your perspective around how you look at wellness and how you look at the elements to be able to make yourself a better person walking in this self-discovery journey and discovering how to embrace the holistic lifestyle as a whole. Now, the first thing with finances, we automatically think about monetary things, money, materialistic gain, and everything that's on this 3D world or path. But in all actuality, the financial freedom that we're looking for, it starts at a spiritual level. The spiritual alchemy that we go through is ultimately going to determine how much monetary gain that we get or cash flow that we generate. So if we make the proper self investments, and we can't go wrong. Those deposits that we're making are going to stay and appreciate and add value to us. Right. So let's get into it. Spiritual bank account. Finding financial peace. When we're finding financial peace and being happy within our currency, being happy within your current flow. Currency, that's the flow, the energy, the money flow, the cash flow. So the cash flow is a representation of how your personal flow is. It's a representation of how happy you are within. How happy you are within is going to determine how you're without and the happiness that you're generating on the outside and what you're projecting on into the outside. What do I mean by that? So being happy with your currency is understanding that the amount of money that you're making now is a reflection of you. Once you accept that, you accept accountability to understanding on how to add more value to yourself. But first, you find the peace in the now of where you're at and be willing to prepare to go through the experience of getting yourself to a place to where you're more financially free and at peace. So you're thinking about your skills to get there rather than just making more money, taking in negative habits, negative ways, or negative thoughts on ways of being desperate for money, when actually understanding that you are the money. Once you come into understanding that you are the money, you start knowing and seeing how to develop the proper skills to be able to earn or attract the money. See, finding financial peace comes with the long journey of turning yourself into the object or the interest or the idea that attracts the money. I don't want to say product because you're above the product. You're actually well, you are the product in development because you have embodied your business. So all of your products should come from you anyway, in some type of way. However, when you're finding peace, we don't want to attach a lot of what we see on this imagery, on TV, on this materialistic distraction in this world that we're living in. We don't want to equate that to real finance. The real finance comes from within. So once you find peace from within, happiness from within, you're gonna get in more of a theta mind flow. You're gonna get in, your thought patterns are gonna open up more to where you'll be open enough to acquire more skills to turn yourself into an asset and attract the money. Become the attraction. Become an asset. Make yourself valuable. How do you make yourself valuable? You learn new skills. How do you get the interest to finding and wanting to learn new skills? Finding happiness and finding a good, effortless flow. Exploration stage. Your exploration stage comes from trials and experimentation, challenges. Challenges that I've come in to on this path of not just entrepreneurship, but also just in my self discovery and healing journey is the information that I have to take in. The amount of information that I want to take in, it can be an overload sometimes, and that's the overwhelming thing. It's not the actual work. Sometimes inner work comes with a lot of information. Me just trying to, when we're trying to and striving to be our best selves, we're constantly learning, we're constantly listening, we're constantly supporting, we're constantly doing all these things that comes with challenge to our mentation. which it weighs heavy on us. So we have to be mindful in our mental wellness. But that comes with the exploration stage when you're challenging yourself, you're challenging the change and reprogram your subconscious mind and your thought patterns. That's what a real challenge has been in my experience. For somebody else, it could be challenges in a more of maybe in sacrifice. Maybe they have their challenge comes from building new relationships with people, social skills, being able to communicate in ways that it generates cash flow. Because we know communication equals cash flow. You're doing it correctly. That's what it will enhance your business. If you can communicate your offer, there's nothing that you properly, there's nothing that you can't do. But first, you have to clean up the inner communication within yourself. New discoveries, self revelation and realizations, and developing new skill sets. The trials and experimentation is going to come with beauty. It's going to come with new discoveries and new findings about yourself. So then you already know when you're finding out new things about yourself, this is going to leave an impression on your subconscious mind. And not only that, you're going to develop an unwavering self confidence because you're going to be having, you're going to be watching yourself in real time learn things without really actually learning them. I'm having to study them. It becomes almost like a flow. It becomes almost like something that you always had in you. You just didn't have the key to unlock it. That's the beautiful thing about your trials and experimentation. Power position with your trial, with your exploration stage comes with power positioning too. You're not realizing it in the now. You're just going through. You're brave enough to step out there, stick your neck out there with your imperfections. It's self empowerment, and not only is it self empowerment, you're an inspiration to others because you're empowering others by empowering yourself and documenting it and let them watch your journey. That's if you let people in. Even if you don't let people in on a social media status, it doesn't matter. The people that you interact with on a daily basis, they would just want to be around you. They can feel your vibration. They can feel you constantly wanting to grow. They can feel you constantly working towards something. They can see how you put 150% in everything that you do. Establish authority. Along this exploration stage, you're going to be establishing authority. All this and be mindful. All of this goes back to the wellness of your financial status or where you're at. It all goes back to within you, a sense of mastery yourself. This is what your exploration stage is ultimately going to take you through. You want to make more money, you need to get more control over yourself. You get more control over yourself, you take more control of you attracting more money. People would be more intrigued by you by the way of how unique you are and how you embrace yourself and how you're mastering yourself and understanding that mastering yourself doesn't come with perfection. It comes with unapologetically just being you. Enjoy the new promotion. Enjoy yourself going through the process. You have promoted yourself to being a light being within and validating yourself and establishing your own self concept and not being influenced by anything from the outside. Because this is what happens. You get programmed and you get influenced from outside imagery, outside powers, outside forces, and even outside unseen spiritual forces can attack you. And you haven't established yourself enough spiritually and poured enough into your spiritual bank account to even fight that off. So now you're looking at things from a financial aspect on a materialistic world and on the surface level when it's making you think, well, I got to get that too. He got that. I got to stay up to date. You're not even up to date within. So now you're being desperate and you're making desperate, negative, and counterproductive moves, to get something that has no value and it's a liability. All it is is all it is perception and imagery controlling your mind to make you think that it means something when it means absolutely nothing to you or your family. It's just a materialistic thing that's gonna perish and not add and not gain and not appreciate in any type of way to bring you any type of money. That's why we have to go within and change our thought patterns. Once you do that, you get the overflow. Money chase you. You don't have to chase money. People always say, "Yeah, I'm chasing the bag." That's good for you, but once you become invested in you, the money will chase you. You won't have to chase the bag. See, this is the advantages of mastering the art of financial wellness. The element of the financial is not on a materialistic surface level gain. Then you create new goals. These new goals will allow you to live inside of your future. These new goals will show you that you're able to accomplish things that you didn't think that you were able to accomplish before. You prove to yourself. So now you want more, not just in money, but within life, within yourself, within the things that you have found that are priceless to you. Let's go back. Establishment. So your establishment stage comes with what I like to call convergent and divergent thinking. Okay, convergent thinking is pretty much just you, in a brief example, you coming up with one solution to solve a problem. Just like reading a recipe on the back of the box and going exactly by the instructions to get the result. Focuses on one solution, lacks the creative initiative. It kind of only sees it from one angle as far as how to get something done. As opposed to a divergent thinker is an innovator. They're thinking about their own new philosophies, their own methods, and new methods to create solutions for problems. And their creative process is usually unique, but they know how to take different views on problems to come up with solutions that could go in many different ways. And they can use their creative thoughts to channel. They channel creative thought to solve issues. So a lot of divergent thinkers have a way of process that a lot of people don't understand, and they might call it esoteric or a hidden way of doing things that nobody really knows about. But that's because that's their vision. That's their way of coming up with a creative solution. That's their intuitive, creative instinct that they have trusted and found to trust within themselves. So when we're dealing with divergent thinking, this is where you want to get to when you're in a space of wanting to get more financially free. And we're dealing with the element of finance. The divergent thinking is the more creative you are, the more wealthy you will become. So the more you're in a divergent way of thinking, the more you're in a way of not just finding a solution, but finding a problem too to service. That's what business starts. Is you find a problem, or that's where service starts. You find a problem, and then you offer a solution. That's why entrepreneurship is such a spiritual journey, because it's just just like in a social world or with your peers. If there's a problem, our human nature is automatically, most of us are going to want to find a solution to help the person who's going through the problem. It's the same way in the entrepreneurship. So just think, if you have acquired different skills and experiences to upgrade your way of how you find solutions. This is what a divergent thinker is. And this is what is going to ultimately take you out of the hump to use your prefrontal cortex of creativity to be able to bring you into a way of innovative thinking so you can generate more money and become more of an asset to generate more money. Let's go back. Constantly increasing value. Constantly increasing value. So you say we want to add value to ourselves and become an asset, but how do we do that? Well, think about the priceless things that you admire, or the priceless things that you might not think about too much because we're so distracted by the materialistic world. Investing in your focus could change your life. Investing in your focus could take you to the next level of understanding on what you like to focus on, how you like to focus on it, and it could actually develop you into a skill that can bring you in a lot of money. I've in personal experience, I've seen guys focus in on their athletic ability. I've seen guys focus in on their trade school, trying to go for their HVAC, or going for to get a certain trade in barber school, and they find a new focus, and they actually surprise themselves. They graduate early, make higher scores, or they're able to thrive so much in what they never thought that they would ever be doing, just because they invested in themselves and their focus and the alchemy of focus. So you learn your strengths and work on your weaknesses relentlessly. We will revisit this presentation later. Peace and wellness.